It's the end of day 7 of my fast. I can't believe it, but here we are at the finish line. I have my bone broth. Cheers. I didn't eat food for the past 7 days, and here's what I learned. First off, I'm not a medical professional, so do your own research and make your own decision. But for me, this experience was really positive and really productive, and I'm making this video to share with you so you know what to expect if and when you do it. Now, overall, it was a very productive and positive experience for me. I learned a lot about my body, and I feel like a new person now that I've broken the fast. And I'm going to walk you through each day what it was like for me, so you know exactly what to expect as you're going through the fast. And 2 important things to note before I began this 7-day fast. Now, what I did for these 7 days, I went without any food whatsoever except for black coffee, tea, salt, and electrolytes, because it's very important for your body to maintain magnesium, potassium, and sodium. I'll tell you more as we get into the video, but before we get into it, 2 other things to know is I trained for this 7-day fast by doing a few 24-hour fasts, as well as one 48-hour fast. Now, going into it, I wasn't super confident that I can go the 7 days. In fact, I originally planned to go for 4 days, and I had an accountability buddy, so another buddy of mine that said he would do the 4-day fast with me together, because we did the 2-day fast together, and it was helpful to share your experience and keep each other accountable, focused on the goal. So day 0, the night before the fast, I get a text from my buddy saying, "Hey Leo, do you want to do the fast now? I know we scheduled it for later this week, but I kind of want to end it on this day." And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I just had a big dinner. I'm never going to feel fully ready for it, so why not? So I did it. I was a little bit nervous what might happen past day 1 or 2, because I was only used to days 1 and 2 up till this point. So day 1 was pretty easy. I've done, I think, around 3 24-hour fasts up until this point, so I was relatively familiar with what to expect, nothing special. Day 2 was when I got a little bit nervous, because the last time I did the 48-hour fast, I was starving by the end of it. But it actually went by easier than I thought, because my brain was ready from the last 48-hour fast, and I didn't have many urges to eat. Just routine thoughts. Oh, this cracker would taste good, but I'm not going to eat it. And my energy levels were slightly lower, and I had a little bit of brain fog. Now, what I learned from last time is that I need to take salts this time. So it's day 3 now of my fast, and surprisingly no drops in energy. I was energized throughout the day. I did have a cup of coffee in the morning, black of course, and yeah, I found that it's helpful to not think of food. Just don't think about how good it tastes or what it's like eating it, then you'll be fine. Just be in the present, do what's in front of you. So I stayed busy with work. That helped a lot. And also I did notice that there's some minor cramps, not really cramps, but you feel the early onset of cramps. So I ate some more salt to hopefully counteract that with some electrolytes. And also I did notice that my stomach got really flat. So, I mean, that's probably just signaling that the body is out of food. So now going into ketosis, hopefully, and it feels great. Also, mind you, I haven't been going to the gym for the past few days, which I normally do in the morning, because that expends too much energy and I wanted to conserve. And one thing I will add is that it was more difficult to fall asleep at night. For some reason, when I got into bed, I wasn't as tired. But in the morning, I also let myself sleep until 8:30, sometimes even 9 a.m. Whereas before, I would typically get up between 5 and 6 a.m. And also that my hands and feet were a lot more cold, which I suspect was due to the lack of fuel. There's no heat source in my body, and it was going into conservation. Going into ketosis, then your body starts eating the fat and muscle for energy, which is good. So part of the reason I did the fast was because I wanted to cycle through the bad cells and replace it with the new, which you can look up the research from Dr. Huberman's podcast or any other websites like that. Day 4, I just got back from the grocery store, had to walk 25-30 minutes there, another 25-30 back, so about an hour walk in the 25-degree freezing cold weather. I forgot to bring gloves like the idiot I am, so my hands were suffering carrying the groceries back. This is definitely more tough. I mean, yeah, runny nose, all that kind of stuff. But good news is that I got some electrolytes from the store, so hopefully my cramps will get better, and I can keep on moving. Let's see how far I can take this. Today was a day that I found out that electrolytes were a thing, that tea, coffee, and salt were not enough, that there are actually electrolyte supplements or fasting salts that you can take to keep your magnesium, sodium, and potassium in check, because those are very important to keep in mind. So now that I've been armed with electrolytes, I drank it, it tasted amazing, and I just felt that second wind pick up. And I felt so good that I knew I could definitely extend to day 5 before even electrolytes. But now I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try for 7 days just to experience going without food for an entire week. So I messaged my buddy saying, hey, no pressure at all, I'm probably going to try to go for a week. I like to start my morning with a warm glass of something every morning. Right now this is water. Sometimes I do coffee, but today, since I feel energized, I don't feel tired at all, I'm going to do some ginger tea. One thing that was surprising throughout the fast so far is that I was quite energized. Maybe it's because I've been sleeping in, or maybe that through ketosis, through my body burning the fat and muscles, it's actually a much cleaner and sustainable source of fuel, as opposed to sugar and carbs, which I was used to. It was a really good feeling, because throughout the workday, I felt naturally focused and calm and productive. I didn't need to handle the up and down and spikes of sugar and carbs. So end of day 5. Today was a little bit tougher actually. I kept on getting thoughts of delicious foods that I could eat, like chocolate, a burger, green curry, Thai food. Oof. It seemed more tempting, but I still didn't pull the trigger because I'm going to stay strong until day 7. So as you saw, day 6 was a lot tougher than previous days. I think my body was really like, all right, Leo, let's wrap this up here. Although my mind, I knew I can go for longer. I see different anecdotes online on Reddit saying people go for 21 days, 10 days, 40 days. I had a buddy that did 40 days actually, and he looked like a skeleton at the end. Scary. I wasn't going to take it that far, but this is more so like an experiment for my body, so I'll keep it at 7. But to get through today, I made a list of yummies. So essentially foods that I like the idea of. Because remember, at that point, I wasn't really wanting to eat food, but I just liked the idea of certain foods. So foods like Thai food, hamburgers, espresso martini, things like that. And just going to a dinner and watching my friend eat and not eating, that made me miss the social aspect of eating a little bit as well. Day 7 of my 7-day fast. I am super excited because this is finally the end of the tunnel. This morning I woke up. I slept in today because it's a Saturday, and it last couple of days took a little longer for me to get up and going, but once I did, I feel fine. Perfectly normal, energized, focused, everything like that. So this morning, which is a couple hours ago, woke up, did some stretches, drank water, electrolytes, decaf coffee straight up, and also had a cup of tea just to warm myself up. So drinking plenty of liquids has helped me a lot. But either way, looking forward to breaking the fast. I did find out yesterday that I'm really not supposed to dig straight into food, which is kind of a disappointment. I was really looking forward to pigging out and eating everything I see. But apparently the medical people say that you should do half the amount of days that you fasted, rounded up to the closest day as a refeeding period to ease your body back into the food. So I think life is too short. Personally, I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll probably start breaking the fast with just something light, um, very keto friendly stuff, like a bone broth or something like that. Maybe some eggs, and then slowly ease into it. But tomorrow I have a couple of meetings with people, so um, hopefully it goes well. Um, yeah, hopefully my stomach isn't too upset at me. So we'll see. Later that evening, I broke the fast. I started with some broth and tasted normal. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, food finally again. I didn't really have that, oh, I missed this so much feeling. It was just, oh, food. Okay, I get it. I'm used to it. I've been eating it for many years now. Nothing new. So I had some bone broth, and then about an hour later, I eased into more of a meal. I was gonna eat light, very keto friendly, eggs, protein heavy diet, 0 carbs. That was my intention. And then one thing led to another. My stomach, I was listening to it, seeing how it would react to the food. It seemed to be doing fine, so I ramped up to a little more. I had some salmon with asparagus and Dijon mustard, had some fruit and some electrolytes, and even worked up to a digestive cookie because I was craving that for some reason, and I seem to be doing fine. Then the next day, it was a big event that I went to with lots of food, which I wasn't not going to eat, so I was also very careful with it, trying the food bit by bit, minimizing the amount of carbs I would take in, and I seem to be doing fine. And so I effectively only had about a day of a refeeding period, if any at all. And anecdotally, I'm fine, so let's run with it. Now, after the 7 days, I learned a lot, as you saw following my journey through these 7 days. I learned to drink lots of water, to replenish your 3 big nutrients, your potassium, magnesium, and sodium, because that gets rid of your lethargy and your brain fog and keeps you focused and moving throughout the day. I learned to let your body rest and not force yourself to wake up, because your body's going through a lot of positive change. It's changing through the cells, getting rid of the weaker ones and replacing it with stronger ones. And I wasn't expecting to feel this great, honestly, so I might actually do this more often in the future. Maybe something like once a year. I'll do a 7-day fast. Also, this experience makes you more cognizant of your relationship with food. I learned that your cravings and urges for certain types of food like chocolate, bacon, etc., doesn't stem from a physical need, but more so a mental response to a stimulus. So bringing awareness to that, then you can change and rewire some of those habit neurons for the better, hopefully. I also learned to not eat as much carbs at night and not such a heavy meal, because that puts your stomach to work when your body's going to rest, and that conflict isn't good for you. That's why you don't sleep well when you eat a big dinner late at night. And last but not least, I learned that your body is capable of far more than you think it is. When I was a kid, I heard someone say you can go up to a week without food. I didn't believe him, but now I know firsthand that you can indeed go a week without food, and that your body is capable of so much. So maybe it's worth to experiment it, listen to it, appreciate it, and let it carry you through the journey of life. Now, comment below if you've done anything like this before. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and I'll see you on the next one.